So for working in Planometric, I've just gone online and searched Planometric grid paper. Okay, so it's the same idea as the isometric, so you've got your kind of lines that you can follow and they're all sat at that 30 degrees. Okay, Planometric's exactly the same sort of paper, it's just at 45 degrees instead. So you can kind of work and build up your objects that way. And that just essentially more pointy direction. Okay, so it's essentially exactly the same technique as isometric, we're just at 45 degrees instead of 30, so it's a bit pointier. So all I've done is sketched out the kind of top of my object here, so let me flip my sheet over so you can see. So lining it up, now you don't have to use a ruler. I definitely think it's a bit easier, but it's completely up to you. Now I know you can't see my grid at the minute, but if you had your own, if you've got a printer at home, then you can work on one. So it's just the same kind of technique that we've used with the grid paper to build up your kind of 3D objects, however they need to built up. Okay, so we're taking that 45 degree. Like I say, it doesn't look, in my opinion, as good as isometric, but same technique. So if we're taking this kind of top surface, I'm going to just draw it off to the side slightly bigger so you can see. I know it's quite big already, but it just makes my life a wee bit easier. So if I'm going to take it, let's see, 4. So all I'm doing is I'm drawing out my square, which is essentially what I'm using as a crate or a frame for my circle or curve. Okay, so I'm not going to draw the whole object, I'm just going to show you how to kind of sketch it in this planometric form. So I've got this square that I'm going to turn into this circle here. Okay, so exactly the same technique as we've seen previously when you should be doing any sort of curve, it doesn't matter what view you're in. We're crossing the corners and then we're running a parallel line through the centre. So you're creating this sort of Union Jack shape. Okay, now with planometric, you can do the little thirds if you want. If you remember when we've done it on isometric before, once we've got your diagonals, we generally tend to split them into thirds and then roughly sketch it in. Okay, it's pretty much the same idea with this. Our outer points we know are definitely going to touch, so those ones are going to hit there, and then we're essentially kind of drawing in our curve here. Now, because we're at this 45 degree angle, it actually ends up pretty much just being a normal circle anyway. So you can see I'm kind of splitting into the thirds. It might sit exactly on them, it might be a wee bit off. It just kind of depends on what you're sketching. And then that would be how you did it, and then it would just be a case of dropping your sides down or over or whatever you've got, and then copying that line there that you've got to produce your curve. So if I wanted to make it, let's just say this 1 block thick. Now what I've done here is I've taken the points where it hits the outer edge, I know it'll touch the outer edge on the bottom as well, and then all I need to do is just copy whatever goes in between those lines up at the top. And that technique is the same for any pictorial style, it doesn't matter which one you're working with. I know my lines are really dark here, it's just so you can kind of see each bit as I go. But yeah, so I've taken the outside edge, dropped it down to the outside edge, and then just joined up whatever was in between the other surfaces, and that's how you would create your curve. If you wanted to do just a kind of quarter, then it would just be exactly the same technique. You would kind of do your little Union Jack, but you would just kind of split your thirds and just draw on that one corner. And once you get confident with it, then what you can start to do is kind of start freehanding these a bit more once you're happy with the technique and you can see it a bit better. So I've just taken that outside point where it hits, and I'm just copying that over. So that's all you need to do. It's exactly the same technique, as I say, as on isometric.